So right before we start, this is just meant as a basic tutorial to get you into the world of affixing. I might stumble over a few things, so bear with me. If you have any questions, leave some comments. Thanks. Alright, so this is a quick tutorial on basics of affixing. So affixing is the process of taking your augments, for example on this Luthaga. Over here on the third tab, we have augments and potentials Might 3, Stigma, Spirit, and Lucky Charm. Each one has its own unique effects that it applies to the overall item's abilities, like melee power and dexterity. But sometimes you might get a junk item that you don't want certain things, like most people don't want wind resistance on a weapon. Or maybe they wanted, maybe they do. They can transfer that to any weapon that they choose, however there are some stipulations to it. So what you want to do is you want to go up to Monica on even number blocks, or Dudu on odd number blocks, the I Am Scientist. Go up to them and you want to do a fix augment. So you pick the target weapon that you want to augment. So for example, I want to upgrade this slave shooter since it only has 2 augments, none of them that I really want. First things first, you notice that number 2 next to the weapon, right over here, that means how many augments it currently has on it, and that's how many can be transferred. So because it has 2, you'll notice, let's see here, if I have any weapons of best. Actually, we'll start with a different example here. Let's go to the red machine guns here, just for a test. See how it has 4 augments. So, notice we have some others with 2, and also identical with 4. So if I want to upgrade this one with 4, if I want to overslot to bring it up to 5 slots, key thing is I have to have more weapons with the exact same or more slots. When I select this to affix, you'll notice that one with 2 augments is missing. It's going to be the same thing with any type. But since I want to, my target weapon being the slave shooter here only has 2, most of the things I have in my inventory right now have more than 2 to try to overslot it. So first things first, what I want to do is get some items to just increase the amount of slots. So that's why typically you'd want to keep around items, especially dropped from bosses that have 4 or more augments, just to keep them around as, you know, they're not quite trash if they have good augments, since you transfer them over and over. So let me grab a few things here that I don't care about, just to try to overslot it. There are also items that increase effectiveness of enhancement, and I'll show you those when I get to that point. So go back to the slave shooter here. We'll first overslot it. Alright, so, wrong menu. Fix augments. Slave shooter. Alright, so let's get these junk 5 augment items in here. So what your aim is, what I'm doing is right now, I'm not aiming for anything specific, just want to get it to 4 slots at the very least, or even 5. So I want to look with ones that have the most number 1 skills, since those are the easiest to transfer. In fact, this Vita Knuckle right here seems to have 4 number 1 skills, so all I should have to do is select that one by itself. And you can see I have a bunch of number 1s here. So we'll start with this one. We'll do Might, Precision, Deafness. Now every time you overslot, you'll notice everything that is currently selected will reduce its transfer rate. So by default, if I just go and give 2 augments to a weapon that already has 2 augments, it's going to be much higher than as soon as I add this third 100%, I'll get downgraded to 75. You got to be careful and watch that. So we will go to Start Fix Augment. You can add a booster to it to increase it back up. So I'm going to use a 30% augment boost, guarantee it to 100%. Now the slave shooter has 3 augments. Still not good ones. We're not aiming for good ones yet. Keep in mind too, whenever you are affixing, there is a base Meseta cost, and each item that you add for affixing costs more. So, let me show you here real quick. I'll probably need to use at least 2 or 3 weapons now in order to overslot this to 4. So now I still want to look for ones that generally have 1s. We'll pick this one. You'll notice as soon as I picked 1, 51,100 Meseta. Now if I pick 2, it doesn't go up by that much, just up another 7,000 to 58,000. As soon as you hit an odd number of items, so when I hit go to 3, look at that price increase, jump up to 348,000. Now I'll go to 4 items, goes up a little bit more, 464,000. I'll go to an odd number of items to 5, 929. Be careful with how many items you are putting in at the same time, odd number of items except for if you're only doing one, has a dramatic price increase. This is why fixing can be incredibly expensive. So, go back here, do our 100%, and you'll see now it dropped them all from 100% to 60%, since we're overslotting it to 4. In fact, start now, try a booster. There is a chance this will fail. Now, if you do fail, you actually lose the slot and that slot's whatever the affix you were trying to do. So let's see if we fail this time. Okay, so you'll see 3 of them succeeded, 1 failed. So it was at 3 slots originally. Now it still stays at 3 slots because one of the affixes failed. See right here, back down to 3. So it is a process. It takes getting used to. Takes a lot of time and money. But eventually you'll get there. So see this time that I have all 4 that were success. There's also one thing I want to mention before I fully slot this with what I want. So there is a particular thing you can get from the AC Scratch to add augments. You'll see they're called Affix Augments. So there's ones for range, technique, HP, melee. So generally what people do, they put on the main stat of the weapon. So in this case, Slave Shooter is a rifle. So we want to do ranged and PP. Take that one with us. So what these do, they guarantee 100%, except for if you're overslotting. They guarantee 100% the transfer rate of said thing. Another thing to keep in mind, if you get an item to plus 35%, you can actually guarantee 100% transfer rate on a certain augment as well. Easiest one to do is from the collection folders that is in the gate lobby. The rightmost NPC, talk to her and ask her the information about collection folders. When you earn the item, let me show you here, and we try to get to a ranged weapon. Okay, so I have these Lambda Schwans here. A couple of them I still need to enhance, but you'll notice that if I click onto the item, and this is for any item, and go to confirm augment factor. So when Lambda Schwan's enhancement level is raised to plus 35, the following augment factors it will become unlocked. Precision 100%, which raises ranged power by 30. So whenever I use that as a fodder item to feed into the item that I want the actual augments to be, Precision 3 will show up and will be 100% success rate, with the exception of adding an additional slot or overslotting. So let's take this. The collection folder ones are the easiest by far because they already come pre-plus 30'd. So all you need to do, go into player shops, or if you have saved them, and find the duplicate item. I need a few of them. I think I just need 3 to get it to plus 35 since it's already at plus 32. We'll just enhance that Lambda Schwan real quick to plus 35. Lambda Schwan plus 32. Other Lambda Schwan. You'll see the enhancement is jumping up now to plus 35. Pretty much if you do a like item into the same one for these collection folder items, it'll guarantee not only increase the level cap, but it'll increase the level flat out. So let's confirm that. And watch what happens here when I get to plus 35. You'll get a notification saying augment factor unlocked. You select this weapon in affix, Precision 3 will be selectable. Okay, perfect. So, and also, whenever you get a plus 35 weapon, it gives you a enhancement item, which is, I think it's just augmentation plus 10%. So, go to affix augment, now that our Slave Shooter has 4 slots. Remember, when you overslot, it decreases the value of everything you're putting in at the same time. That's why you want to get it to 4 slots first, and not have it at 3 and overslot it to 4, if that makes sense. Let me get some Arbicida here. Alright, so now that we have all the items that we want to use to affix, we'll go to affix augment. Go down to the Slave Shooter. We already brought it up to 4 with our junk augments, and now we want to select the items. First thing I want to aim for is the Siger Soul. Siger Soul gives plus 35 range, plus 5 dex, plus HP to 20, and PP to 40. Pretty good for a ranged weapon. So we need at least 3 of them in order to get that up to 80%. If I only do 2, it'll only reach the 50%. The souls are unique in the fact that you need at least 2 to even transfer at all. So 2 to 50%, 3 to 80%. So we're going to go ahead and pick the 3 that we want. Let's see here, so we got our 2 selected now. You can see that the price increase jumping up to 58,000 since we have 2 items selected. Whenever we reach an odd number of items, that price is going to jump up dramatically. Keep in mind the amount of items that you are selecting at the time. Just looking for what we can add to here, what we need. Trying to find my other Siger Soul. There it is. Okay, but I'll show you what happens when you just do 2 of a soul. You'll notice that it's only at 50% right now, so let's back out, put the 3rd one on, use, and now it jumps up to 80%. Better the chance we have, more percent, so we'll keep it up there. Next, I want to aim for something else, so let's look for see if there's anything else that increases. We'll go to the Lambda Schwann here. Remember earlier we got this to plus 35, so we can unlock its precision 3. That is a guaranteed 100%, denoted by that blue augment factor symbol by precision 3. We'll select that, and you'll see at the very top, precision 3 shows up with that symbol. Tell us that it is at 100%. Now, remember 100%, it will not be 100% if you add it as an extra slot or overslot it. So bear that in mind. That's the whole reason that we got the weapon to 4 junk augments to begin with. So we just got to look for our 5th item here of what we add. So let's go in 4 items real quick here. The affixed augment item that I talked about from the AC Scratcher from player shops. This one adding ranged and PP. When I add this item, it's going to be a 100% guaranteed. But let's pick our other weapon first. Actually, let me show you with the item first. So you'll see Noble Precision shows up towards the bottom there, automatically selected with the item. Gives 30 range and 3 PP. That's 100% with Precision. Siger Soul. We have 200% and an 80%, so we're just looking for our 4th one that we want to add. Probably go with Stamina. A good one to have as well. Let's double check here. Precision. Siger Soul. No Precision's already selected. And Dexterity or HP. We'll just go with HP. You see we have 2 at 100%, 1 at 80, 1 at 60. So I brought an augmentation aid with me of plus 40%. So as soon as I hit start affix, it's going to increase that and make sure that they're all at 100%. Start affix. Use the success booster as a 40%. And you'll see all of them guaranteed 100%, no chance of failure. Now we have our item at 100%. Almost 3. 95 range power, a lot better than what it was before. With 5 dex, 70 HP, which is pretty good, and 4 PP. So let's go to check what this item is usually selling for. You'll see we're just bringing this from 2 augments. We dramatically increased its worth. See how much these people are selling this weapon for 18 million with just a single Mastery 3 augment. Not really great. I don't think it's really worth that much. But you see that the next person here having 6 for 24 million with 55 range power. A bunch of other stats aren't necessarily bad, but not really useful. Not as useful. So as we scroll through them, you see one at 29 million has 95 range power. Again, a bunch of other stats. Melee and tech really won't do anything for a ranged weapon. Defense is okay, but not what people really are looking for. So I'm thinking about pricing it between the 18 million and the 29, probably around like 25 or 26. So just properly affixing once I'm getting used to it, and once you all get used to it, you can easily add worth of around an extra, anywhere from an extra couple million to all the way up to 20, 30, 40 million of worth onto the weapon or item. So I hope this tutorial helps. Thanks so much for bearing with me. Might have stumbled across a few things. Feel free to leave a comment if you have any questions. Thanks.